The Northwestern Mindanao State College of Science and Technology is one of the premier institutions in the province of Misamis Occidental, which it envisions to promote research and development for the benefit of the academic institution. And as a response, the NMSCST Research Core Group was organized to conduct different studies that are relevant to the institution and to the society as a whole.
The world's biggest issue today is the intense global warming. So it imposed me to conduct a research studies to mitigate this problem. So my study is about the impact of population to animal production, since animal production is the most significant contributors of greenhouse gas emission. So this greenhouse gas emission is the main cause of global warming. So since today, there is a rapid increase of population. So in agriculture, there must be a policy or regulation that will limit the number of animals in order to minimize the production of animal manure. Since animal manure is one of the main sources of greenhouse gas emission that will accumulate in the atmosphere, so proper waste disposal and management is very important. That is why this study is conceptualized in order to generate a possible policy that will look after on animal production. This study, I employed descriptive design to assess the direct and indirect impact of animal production. So this study made use of path analysis to test the fit of correlation metrics of the two factors that being compared. After the data were analyzed, in this study, I have concluded that there must be a policy to be formulated by the government to regulate the proper waste disposal and management.
In our case, together with Mr. Lapinigin here, we purposely chose Pangal Bay as our main subject for our study. That is because we believe that Pangal Bay serves as the main source of livelihood of the people in Tangub who are living alongside the coastal areas in the Pangal Bay. That is why I and Mr. Lapinig also believe that Pangal Bay is very essential and very biodiverse when it comes to resources. That is why there is a need for us to really study our very own Pangal Bay here in Tangub City.
In connection to Mr. Rivera's statement, we need to utilize the area of Pangal Bay. That's why we conduct this study, population diversity of mangrove species in Pangal Bay, Tangub, Philippines. So, in this moment, we visit the area, we conduct an ocular survey of the mangrove species, and we notice there are plenty of areas that are converted into fish pond. As a continuation to our ocular survey, we notice also that there are still remaining mangrove species, but as we find out that only 8 species are there.
I would really like to agree with what Mr. Lapinig said, that our first impression really of the area of the mangroves along the Pangal Bay is not diverse because, personally speaking, the two of us really felt sad because knowing the fact and seeing the mangroves were being destroyed because of, as you can see now, what happens to the Pangal Bay is that there are a lot of houses, the building of houses that are occurring, continuous development such as the cultivation and conversion of the mangrove forests into household, that's right, and then other like fish ponds and other aquaculture activities that lead to the cutting of the mangroves. And another is upon the cutting of the mangrove, they will also process that one into charcoal, yes, firewoods and
medicinal belief.
yeah.
Mangrove is useful for that. In this study, we utilize descriptive survey, stratified random sampling using line intersect transit with a measurement of 10 by 10 meters.
And that 10 by 10 meters, we have established actually a 100 distance of the area. And we divided that 100 into 5 quadrants, namely quadrant 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That sums up into 500 square meters. And that's it. That is our the whole measurement of our study site. And with that study site also, we purposely chose 4 major barangays, namely what are those barangays, sir?
Sitio Lucas of Maloro, Silanga, Garang, and Mindanao.
Yeah, because these 4 barangays are believed to have the most number of mangroves. And we are so thankful that these barangays also really had preserved their mangrove forest. That is why we chose them as our main respondent of this study.
So as we noticed and observed in the activity we conducted, there are 8 species of mangrove belong to 5 families.
Yeah, and do we really need to
Emphasize the 5 families?
I guess not, but rest assured there are 8 families belonging to 5. There are 8 species belonging to 5 families.
Result revealed that in 5 families of mangrove that are found in the area of Tangub City, the most dominant species is belong to family Rhizopora, including locally known as Bakhaw. Then, in addition to the diversity of mangrove species in Tangub City, Mr. Rivera will talk about it.
Yes, actually, as what I have said a while ago, that our first impression of the mangrove species in the Pangal Bay is that it is not diverse at all. But as we have gathered in our data and treated that with our statistics, the chi-square analysis, and then the Shannon index test, we are very much thankful because in our findings, we have found out that the mangrove species in Tangub City is still diverse. But in critical level only. That is why there is still a need for us to restore and rebuild, and so that we can preserve its biodiversity. So that is why we recommend and we are calling the attention of everyone who is concerned about the environment in the Pangal Bay, especially on the mangroves, that we must sustain its biodiversity by tree planting, mangroves,
coastal cleanup.
yes, and then also we, as much as possible, there must be a policy that will be regulated, especially by the local government, so that the mangrove species will be protected. And that is for the good of every one of us. Thank you.
Soil erosion is one of the problems that we are facing nowadays. And as we all know, the Tangub City is prone for soil erosion. Tangub City has a total land area of 16,572 hectares, in which 60% of it is hilly and highly elevated area that is vulnerable to soil erosion.
In soil erosions, which is being developed by Yuri Wilinski in 2007,
model depicts a graphical representation of soil erosions which is being influenced by the following parameters: the land topography, the dampness, the rain smoothness, the rainfall, and soil hardness. Since it is a computational model, we created a 10 simulation process in order to obtain the best result. The result shows that the best way to prevent soil erosion is to increase vegetation, planting trees and plants in the hilly areas of the city. Study concludes that among the 5 parameters, rainfall and terrain smoothness have agreed significant effects on soil erosions. Of the 2 main effects, rainfall appears to have more impact on soil erosions. To diminish this impact, the terrain should be highly vegetated and non-smooth. This study will serve as the basis of the city government in creating an ordinance to prevent soil erosions, especially in the hilly areas of our city.
Research really helps in the institutional development and societal aspects. Those are just some of the NMSCST's relevant studies which are informative and knowledge can be drawn. NMSCST, as it continues to soar high in the name of research and development. With those, the college has a strong manifestation that these research studies will have a big contribution to our community. This is Kasecha Simile.